Welcome, everyone. Diving in today with a look at health and illness, but through a different lens. We're going through The Magnifying Glass of New Medicine. That's the book's title translated, right?
La lupa de la nueva medicina, yeah, by Argentinian doctor Fernando Callejón. And it's not your typical medical book.
Had me hooked at the title, gotta admit. So who's this Callejón? What's his deal?
Trained as a regular doctor,
Yeah.
but then he goes deep into psychoanalysis, which leads him to this whole new approach. New medicine, he calls it.
That mix right there, traditional medicine meeting psychoanalysis, that's what's got me intrigued. What's he aiming for with that combo?
Basically, he's shaking up how we see health, illness, the whole shebang. He says modern medicine, always diagnosing, treating, it creates a medicine of panic.
Medicine of panic. Okay, strong words. What's he getting at there?
It's like, by treating illness as this big, scary thing we got to fight off, we make people scared of being healthy. Like those ads, warning you about diseases, they grab you, but by freaking you out.
So instead of giving people tools to get healthy, this medicine of panic makes them feel helpless.
Totally. Makes you think your body's weak, under attack constantly. And then that fear makes people want stronger and stronger treatments, even if they don't need them.
So he's saying this fear, it might actually be bad for us in the long run.
Big part of his argument. He wants us to work with our bodies, not against them.
Yeah.
And he's got this story from when he was a new doctor, really shows what he means.
Okay, hit me with it.
He's got this patient. She's crying, really upset, and all the medical system cares about is figuring out what's physically wrong. Nobody's looking at how she's feeling, And it made Callejón realize the system was more worried about the disease, not the human being.
Man, talk about missing the forest for the trees. You're focused on the diagnosis, forget about the person going through it.
And that's what he's tackling with this thing he calls psychobiology.
Psychobiology, right, we've thrown that word around. But what is it exactly? New medical system. Philosophy.
Think of it as a framework, a way of understanding how the mind and body are linked. It's got three main parts. Philosophy, a theoretical framework, includes something called his 5 laws of new medicine, and how it actually works in practice.
So it's looking at the whole picture, not just symptoms on a chart. You said 5 laws of new medicine. Are we going to get into those?
Not enough time to break down all 5 today, but got to understand the idea behind them to get Callahan's approach. They basically say your body reacts to conflict and stress in a certain way.
So it's not just about fixing the physical stuff, but figuring out what's going on emotionally, mentally that might be causing it?
Exactly. And that's where his background in psychoanalysis is huge.
That's what's so cool about this, how it connects all these different areas. Okay, so we've got this medicine of panic, Callejón's pushing back against, and his alternative, this psychobiology.
Yeah.
But how does he see it working in real life?
That's where his new logic comes in. Challenges how regular medicine sees things. And to show you what he means, he uses this example, his daughter, Barbara.
Whoa, his own daughter. Now I got to hear this. Okay, tell me more. What happened with Barbara?
So Barbara, she gets misdiagnosed with this bone cancer, Ewing sarcoma.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and she goes through all the typical treatments, chemo, radiation, you name it. But she's not getting better. Actually, she gets worse.
That's awful. What went wrong?
Callejón, he realizes they're doing what they're supposed to, but they're missing the point. Attacking the tumor, not asking WH why it's there in the first place.
Oh, okay. So how do you use this new logic to help her then?
He digs deeper, past the physical stuff, and finds out that right before she got sick, Barbara went through something really emotional, like a big conflict.
Hold on, you're saying there's a connection, her emotions and the cancer?
That's what Callejón believes. Now, let me be clear. He's not saying, oh, being stressed gives you cancer. But his research and what happened with Barbara, it made him think unresolved stuff, emotional stuff, it can show up physically.
That's pretty out there compared to what doctors usually say. So what they do about this emotional conflict then?
Therapy, mainly. Creating a space for Barbara to deal with those emotions, work through the trauma underneath it all.
How did it go?
Thing is, once they stopped just fighting the cancer and started taking care of Barbara emotionally, that's when she starts getting better.
Wow, that's something else. Shows you the mind and body, they're connected for a reason. But I bet some doctors, they hear this, they don't like it.
You're not wrong. It's controversial, his work. But Callejón, he's not afraid to shake things up, even if it ruffles some feathers.
He's definitely making us rethink things. Earlier, you said psychobiology has these 3 parts to it. We talked about how it works practically, but what about the philosophy behind it?
This is where Callejón gets into what healing really means and how the patient, they got to be part of it. not just following orders.
Not just blindly doing what the doctor says.
Right. He's saying true healing, it's not just making symptoms go away. It's about understanding yourself, mind, body, the whole thing. And he uses this idea, prenatal contract, to explain it.
Okay, now we're getting kind of deep. Prenatal contract sounds intense. What's that all about?
It's a metaphor, see? He's saying on some level we choose what challenges we'll face in life, even before we're born.
Wait, so I signed up for this, all the tough stuff. Not sure I'm buying that.
No, it's not about literally choosing. More like it's how we look at it. Think of it like even the bad stuff. It's a chance to grow, to change for the better.
Okay, I see how that could be helpful. If it's not just random, if there's a purpose, even if it's tough, you can learn from it.
Exactly. It's about realizing you have that inner strength, you can heal.
Makes you think about the whole patient-doctor thing differently. More like teamwork, not just one person calling all the shots.
That's the shift he wants.
Yeah.
And this brings us to that third piece of psychobiology, the theory part. That's where those 5 laws of new medicine come in. Like we said, we won't get into all of them today, but...
All right, those 5 laws, you're saying they're key to how this all works. Give me the gist. What are they about?
They basically change how we see how our bodies react when we're stressed, dealing with conflict. Not just random breakdowns, but like these programs that get triggered when we're going through stuff emotionally.
So, like, you wouldn't just see an ulcer as, oh, something's wrong with your stomach. It'd be more like, what's eating you, literally.
Right. You'd look at what's going on in their life. Are they dealing with something they can't stomach? Literally. Oversimplified.
Yeah.
But you get the idea. Our bodies are trying to tell us something.
And that's Callahan's new logic, right? Our bodies are smarter than we give them credit for. They're talking to us.
Yeah.
We just got to learn the language again.
Exactly. And this is where his whole thing about new knowledge comes in. He's not saying ditch everything doctors know, but be more critical.
Especially these days, everyone's got an opinion on health, right?
Totally. And he's not afraid to say, hey, Big Pharma, they've got a say in this too. Conflict of interest,
Got to think for yourself. Can't just take everything at face value, whether it's a doctor or an ad.
100%. Ask questions, do your research, be open to different ways of looking at things.
Which brings us back to Barbara. He wasn't afraid to say, okay, what else is there? Look beyond what everyone else was saying. That's his new ethics, isn't it?
Big time.
Yeah.
It's about the patient and the doctor working together, not just the doctor saying, do this, and that's it. What does the patient need? What do they value? What's right for them?
Treating the whole person, not just the disease.
Exactly. Where do they come from? What do they believe? What's their story? It all matters.
Man, this has really gotten me thinking, I gotta say. Whole new way of looking at this.
Challenges what we think we know, that's for sure.
It does. And it all comes back to that question he asks, the one that really sticks with you. What's our body trying to tell us when we get sick?
Makes you think, doesn't it? Not about freaking out over every little cough, but like respecting that your body knows stuff you don't.
Tuning in, really listening. This has been fascinating, gotta say. Thanks for this deep dive, this whole psychobiologia thing. It's wild.
Glad you enjoyed it. Always fun to explore these ideas.
And to everyone listening, we hope this got you thinking too. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and listen to what your body's telling you. Until next time.